Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News Extra. And this morning we're talking about the second annual Veterans Ride coming up June 9th. It will benefit the Veterans and Military Family Emergency Relief Organization. And I have member Chris Wolf with me, along with race coordinator Denise Cline. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about the genesis, if you would, of how this race came about, the idea behind it.
The idea behind it was I had a really good friend who passed away. His name was Dale Rubottom, and he was a Vietnam vet who had gotten Agent Orange, and then he passed away 2 years ago of cancer. So last year's run was in his name, in his honor. And so I had gotten a hold of Chris, and so I just wanted to help our veterans locally and, just with their housing or whatever they need. So I've decided to make this an annual thing.
Okay, and so this year with the race, there's a little bit of a route that's laid out,
yes,
as I understand, that kind of encompasses most of the southern part of the Panhandle.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
I decided to start at the OT Roadhouse, with Chad Leeling. He's really helped me out a lot. He designed the flyers, and he's really financially helped me through that. And then Beer and Loathing in Kimball, they're a really nice little bar. And then The Rock over in Sydney, that's a really nice place to go. And then we'll head to Frankie's Bar over in Bridgeport, and then Pink Palace in McGrew. And then we'll head back to the Oregon Trail Roadhouse, where we'll have a live auction and a hog roast.
Okay.
And the food will be $5 or a free will donation.
Okay. And of course, we're talking motorcycles.
Yes, motorcycles or cars.
Or cars.
It doesn't matter.
If you so desire. Yeah.
Right.
And something to help benefit the organization itself. And the sign-up's relatively early that morning, starting at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And
We'll have a ceremony from the American Legion, Post 36 in Gering. We'll do the 13 fold of the flag to honor our fallen heroes.
Okay. And for the sign-ups, it is $15 a person.
Yes.
Or $20 a couple.
Yes.
And as you said, the food sales will go to charity. And I see you also have some sponsors here, like Black Diamond Limousine.
Black
that are
Diamond
helping
Limousine.
out.
Wally Slogger donated the limousine again this year. He did last year. So for those our veterans who can't drive, can ride in the limousine, or for people who've never ridden in a limousine can just ride in the limo.
And of course, this is not just limited to veterans. This is everybody
Yeah.
that can take part in this.
Sure.
The Veterans Ride coming up June 9th, and we'll talk a little bit with Chris on the work that's done by the Veterans and Military Family Emergency Relief Organization when we come back on News Extra. And we're back this morning on News Extra. We're talking about the second annual Veterans Ride coming up June 9th, starting at the Oregon Trail Roadhouse. Sign-ups that morning at 9 o'clock. And then starting with a ceremony, and then the ride proceeding after 10:30. And the money that's generated will help the Veterans and Military Family Emergency Relief Organization. We have Denise Cline, who's the race coordinator, an event creator, if you will, and Chris Wolf from the organization. Again, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk a little bit about the Veterans and Military Family Emergency Relief Organization. How long has the organization been around?
Actually, our organization has been around since 2008. It was about the time that Amy Reinpold and Shane Reinpold and I started talking, and we had a situation where a veteran's family needed some basic assistance, and their member was deployed. And so we said they couldn't get with any of the community action agency boundaries. And we said that's unacceptable. So we started this organization, and it's just continued to grow. Our main fundraiser now is the Warrior Run, which is held in November.
Yep.
But then we have wonderful people like Denise who said, hey, I want to donate some money to your cause, and that's just given us extra money to be able to work with the veterans.
And the services that are provided really do come in timely and very appreciated by the families and veterans that are involved. Talk a little bit about those services.
We can provide rent money. We help with we pay lots of utility bills. So if a veteran or their family is in a situation where their power's about ready to be shut off, or they're the landlord is saying, hey, you're behind on your rent, I need some money, we can provide those. And it's an emergency situation. So we're able to help with up to $500 a year per veteran. And that's our guidelines that we've stayed with for a long time. But, since about 2013, when I started keeping track of the money, we have spent well over $120,000. We've gone through $7,000 just since January.
Wow.
And it's only because of people like Denise and people that take part in the Warrior Run that help make this available so we can do this.
And when it comes to an event such as this, and the monies that are generated, almost anything that's generated and donated to the organization ends up getting recycled back into the program.
Absolutely. We don't have any overhead costs all except for like our 501c3 standing, which we have, and a few, our website fees. 2 to 3% of what we bring in is administrative costs, and the rest, we all donate our time, our gas, whatever we need to do to make sure that these services are taken care of. So everything is spent on the vets.
And of course, like you said, it's events such as the Veterans Ride. This is going to be the second annual. How did you decide the route that you were going to take everybody on this year?
It takes me a couple of months to get it together. So I was talking to my niece, Tiffany Jones. I'm like, well, let's just go do a route. My routes are normally small, but I'm like, let's make this a good one. So we did that, and then I got Christine Gage involved, and so they've helped out a lot with this, getting things together, donations for auctions and stuff like that. But, you just have to pull it out of your head. You just have to just start driving and just think, is this going to be okay for our riders? So that's what I do. Sure.
And the route, it looks like starting off at the Oregon Trail Roadhouse there in Gering, then heading south, obviously Highway 71,
right,
down to Kimball, and then across over to Sydney, Highway 30, I'm imagining, instead of the interstate. Too much traffic, too much
traffic.
And construction going on at the same time, and then taking 385 up to Bridgeport, and from there Highway 26 and then 92 through McGrew, and then stopping back in again at the Oregon Trail Roadhouse. Of course, a lot of very notable places that are going to be hit along this route: Beer and Loathing in Kimball, The Rock in Sydney, Frankie's Bar in Bridgeport, and the Pink Palace in McGrew. And again, how do people can they pre-register? Is that okay, or do you want everybody to sign up the day off?
We just normally do it that morning.
Okay.
I'll have 2 tables set up for people to register.
Okay.
And it usually doesn't take that long, and that they can just relax and get ready for the run. So,
and it's $15 per person, $20 a couple.
Yes.
You don't have to be on a motorcycle or a trike or a spider or anything like that. You can, if you want to drive in a car and help support the cause, you absolutely can.
Yes.
And of course, you said there's going to be a live auction afterwards. Can you give us a preview of any of the types of things that'll be available in that live auction?
Well, Chris made this really awesome quilt. It's nice. And, we got tickets to Tracy Bird.
Oh, great.
That were donated.
Great.
And the tractor pull. And
that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a lot of nice stuff. We got tattoos that were donated. We have people making things, horseshoe flags.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's going to be awesome.
And, of course, the hog roast to wrap things up at the end. And, of
Right.
course, anybody and everybody, whether you've been on the ride or not,
Right.
absolutely invited
Absolutely
to that,
come in.
because those food sales on that absolutely go to the organization, to
100%
charity.
of this run will go to Chris. So.
Yeah. So, and what time do you think that will probably take
We'll
place with
probably
the hog roast?
come in, I would say about 4:35.
About 4:35 o'clock?
Yeah. And then we'll all just relax, and then they can eat.
Yeah.
Everything will be ready.
Sounds like it's going to be a really fun, nice day, and hopefully the weather will hold fast for us.
I hope so.
And we'll see. This spring has been fairly interesting to say
know.
the least. That's the second annual Veterans Ride coming up June 9th. Sign up at 9 in the morning, going until 10:30, and then the ride at the Oregon Trail Roadhouse. $15 a person, $20 a couple. Chris, Denise, thank you very much for joining us on News Extra today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for having us.